Some games are great, some are bad. Others are just weird, but a few titles' existence is so ruddy baffling that it's hard to believe they actually made it out of development. So today, let's take a look at 9 video games that the Biddy Beer Bro Show can't believe actually became reality.
Actually, my name is Austin Powers.
It says here name Danger Powers.
No. Danger's my middle name.
If you're not familiar with the Austin Powers trilogy, well, not only are you probably a lot, and I mean a lot younger than me, but also you probably associate the actor Mike Myers with a particular swamp-dwelling ogre.
Shrek is love, I say. Shrek is life.
Well, before he was Shrek, he was Britain's horniest spy in the comedy classic Austin Powers films, a series of movies that heavily parodied the Bond series, albeit with a lot less action and more raunchy, groovy comedy.
Groovy, baby!
Sounds like the perfect recipe for a video game, am I right? Well, no. Well, that's not what Rockstar thought. Yes, that Rockstar, as they for some reason decided to publish Austin Powers Oh Behave exclusively for the Game Boy Color. A game that features the excitement of the movies in game form by letting you play rock, paper, scissors. A Pac-Man clone, and Othello. Yup, exactly like the movies. Once you've had enough of that excitement though, you can jump into the bare bones platforming of the main game, which sees you dodging and shooting random British based items like police hats.
Do I make you Randy?
Oh, and there's also a Dr. Evil variant of this title for some reason too. Which one will you choose? It's a decision up there with red or blue if you ask me. And yeah, I'm not really sure who came up with this idea, but they should be ran over with a steamroller, in my opinion.
Move!
Careful, Austin.
Don't like English humour? Well, you're in luck, as buried deep in the darkest corners of the Game Boy Color's library is Little Nikki, a game based on that Adam Sandler movie that has me yearning for Popeye's chicken even to this day.
Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome.
Fried chicken aside, why anyone thought the world needed a Little Nicky game is beyond me, but what's most surprising is it's actually not awful. It's quite a charming little package actually, and has some surprisingly detailed 8-bit graphics that not only follows the movie's plot, but also stunningly recreates most scenes from the flick in all their hellish glory. The game is just another basic platformer that you'd expect on the old Game Boy Color, but a lot of care has been put into making the game resemble the movie as closely as possible on the little handheld. Little Nicky for the GBC also comes packed with a slew of minigames that again are surprisingly solid. I mean, come on. Who hasn't wanted to throw a pineapple up old Adolf's ass?
You're serious.
The first rule of Fight Club is, you do not talk about Fight Club.
Do you remember David Fincher's 1999 masterpiece Fight Club? Oh, yeah, you do? Well, obviously you'll also remember the movie being an action-packed spectacle all about the fighting and not a movie about the reflection of masculinity and a critique of the modern world. No, don't remember it being like that? Well, in 2004, developers Genuine Games decided to ignore the more complex themes of the movie and instead give us a 3D 1v1 fighter featuring all of your favourite characters from the movie, including old Meatloaf himself, even if none of the characters look anything like their movie counterparts. And even if my good friend Liam does love this game, the overwhelming majority of gamers disagree and the game is largely loathed. The reasons why? Well, the fighting mechanics are piss poor, the graphics are ugly as hell, and the game just completely disrespects the source material it's based on. But hey ho, it did do the whole X-ray bone breaking thing way before Mortal Kombat did, so at least there's that.
They have wings, but cannot fly.
Once upon a time, Morgan Freeman narrated a documentary that followed a bunch of penguins walking. Yeah, walking. And look, I've got nothing against walking, but walking does not make a good video game. Sorry all you Death Stranding fans out there. Don't hate me. Anyway, back on point. So yeah, someone watched the grueling documentary of penguins trying to survive by going on a march and thought, God damn, that's a recipe for a great video game. And then we got March of the Penguins for the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS. a Lemmings-esque game where you place objects in front of your constant marching penguins in order to guide them to safety. It's completely throwaway, but I'm sure a few hundred people got brought this by their nans at Christmas. Cheers, Nan, this one's to you.
What's going on?
Parents over the world probably still have nightmares featuring the crazy frog and his musical antics, but this freaky looking, annoying sounding one-hit wonder wasn't done with the torture yet as he decided to jump into the world of video games with 2 Mario Kart style races. Those kind of games you kind of expect considering the character's popularity at the time. But perplexingly, we also got Crazy Frog Art School, a game where you draw Crazy Frog doing different things like playing football. Yep, that's it. 30 quid, well spent. Nacho Libre has always stuck with me thanks to the corn on the cob scene. You remember the one? Yeah, that one. I'm sure Isaac Clarke still gets some PTSD when he watches this one. Yet, not once did I ever think while watching the extremely odd comedy is that I'd love to see this in video game form. But that didn't stop him from going ahead and doing it anyway, as we got Nacho Libre for the DS in 2006. Surprisingly though, the game isn't actually awful and takes the oddball comedy of the movie and shrinks it down into a seriously weird dual screen game that is part minigame compilation, part wrestler tied together with a weird story and some quite unique visuals.
How did you get up there?
I fell.
I'm sure no matter what part of the world you're from, you may have heard of a little show called Little Britain. A TV series featuring sketches of some truly grotesque characters being, well, general arseholes. The show hasn't aged like the finest of wines, but at its peak it was so incredibly popular that it got a video game. Well, no, we got an atrocity. Calling this a video game is an insult to Superman Goddamn 64. Yes, just like most of these types of quick cash-ins, this one is another minigame collection that's activities are so very loosely based on the show. It's kind of like that Jackass game that came out, but at least with that game having Steve-O and crew doing insanely stupid minigames kinda made sense in context. But with Little Britain, it just screams lazy, soulless, pointless, money-grabbing shite. As if that wasn't bad enough though, the game is just downright offensive, and not in a funny way. One of the minigames honestly has you mowing down homosexuals on a bike. And when I think about this game or reflect on this game, it's kind of funny how GTA San Andreas caused so much controversy, but this one flew under the radar. It's mind-boggling.
What's a liger?
It's pretty much my favorite animal. It's like a lion and a tiger mixed.
Another oddball comedy that really didn't need its own video game is Napoleon Dynamite. But again, just like Nacho Libre, at least the devs of this game try to capture the weird and wonderful magic of the movie it's based on, and again at least attempted to make the game visually unique with its weird scrapbook cut-out kinda aesthetic. Yet, what we got on the PSP and the DS is unfortunately another collection of minigames inspired by scenes from the movie. But with this one, the games are at least fun and extremely simple and never that tedious, which makes this completely unnecessary game a tidy little time waster in my opinion. I'm not saying you should go out and buy it though, I'm just saying it could have been a whole lot worse all things considered.
Idiot!
I just can't resist the spicy taste!
Pepperami. It's a bit of an animal.
And lastly we have Animal, aka the Pepperami game. If you don't know what a Pepperami is, well, it's a popular British little meat snack you get in your lunchbox as a kid. And this snack's mascot is basically a sadistic, walking and talking sausage who wants nothing more than to cause himself harm and to be eaten. Weird, I know, but just check out some of the commercials if you have the time.
Pepperami Mini. It's a little bit of an animal.
Anyway, this pork product based weirdo actually found himself starring in his own point and click adventure game for the PC way back in 1996. In the game, you explore a snack themed city known as Snackopolis and try to clean up the mess you made by trying to clone yourself. While this concept is certainly fresh, the gameplay is a true chore to chew through and will likely leave a bad taste in your mouth. But hey, at least there's a cutscene where the animal goes full Doom Guy on some vegetables. And that's it for today. Do you know of any games that really have no right to exist? Well, then be sure to let us know down in the comments below. And until next time, you guys stay tipsy.